In this lesson, I want to discuss the hormonal control of calcium levels in the bloodstream. And just to give ourselves a reference here, we have the thyroid gland, and I'll outline it here. And on it, on the posterior thyroid, on each lateral side, there are two parathyroid glands. And these two glands will be important for the hormonal control that we will discuss. So I'm going to erase those drawings off just so we know where we are. On the side here, we have an osteoclastic cell. You have bone tissue, see the canaliculate, the osteocytes, housing lacunae, osteoblastic cells here. So we have a little idea of the tissue, and I'm going to have both of these on there so I can kind of draw what's regulating the build-up of bone with the hormones. Now, when we actually have this, we have two hormones, and we're going to discuss first the ones that will deal with the thyroid actually building up in terms of increasing the calcium loss through our urine, and that is the thyroid gland. And the thyroid gland secretes a hormone. So, for example, I'm going to draw a blood vessel here. And we're going to say right now that we have calcium, Ca, is high. Now, we need to lower that. We don't want blood calcium levels too high. And one of the things that we have the ability to do that is that we have osteoclastic cells who can help us to regulate calcium levels. So what we're actually going to do when we have a high calcium level in the bloodstream, well, we want to get rid of it. We want to lower this down. So the thyroid gland will secrete calcitonin. Calcitonin will be increased as it will. What it's going to do is as it's secreted into the bloodstream. Remember, endocrine secretions are secreted into the bloodstream. The calcitonin secreted by the thyroid will secrete into the bloodstream, and this is going to work its way out of the blood, and it's going to go to the osteoclasts and turn them off. When it turns off osteoclasts, we lower, it actually stops breaking down bones. We're not putting out calcium into the bloodstream. Secondly, this will go to the kidneys, and then the kidneys we will release through our urine more calcium, which will lower it back to homeostatic levels. So that's one way in which we can deal with raising or lowering. So in here we can lower this by using calcitonin to lower our blood calcium levels. So when you're building up calcium and you want to lower it, we think about building up. We want to break that down. We're going to use calcitonin. It's kind of hard to remember. Calcitonin is one that breaks this down. Now, if I want to increase now my bloodstream, if I have low calcium, and I want to increase my blood calcium levels when I need it. Say I need calcium for the release of neurotransmitters in neurons, or I need it for muscle contractions, and I need my calcium to be at proper balance. Too much, too little is a problem. So here we're going to excrete from the parathyroid gland, thing called parathyroid hormone, for short PTH. Parathyroid hormone. Parathyroid hormone is going to leave the bloodstream, and it's going to make the osteoblasts increase in activity, breaking down more bone. As it breaks down more bone, calcium will leave and go into the blood, and it will increase your calcium levels. And we'll have a higher level of calcium, and this gives us, keeps our balance, our homeostatic balance of calcium. And you want to keep about 8.5 to 11 milligrams per deciliter of calcium in your bloodstream in order for proper functions. And if it gets too low or too high, these are the mechanisms in which we can increase and decrease. We will increase calcium via parathyroid hormone, decrease calcium using oxytocin, or using calcitonin rather, and this will generate the proper balance of our calcium levels in our bloodstream. And this concludes this simple little physiology lesson on hormonal control of blood calcium levels.